It's time to fan the flame of your network. We've covered comment, now we're on chat. Last module, you spent 100 minutes sparking opportunities in comments. This module, you'll fan those sparks into the flame of your network. So we'll cover flame, turning sparks into flames, the principles of being human, helpful, and relevant, the method of how to find, start, and build opportunities in chats, and an action step so you can get started today, starting with flame. When you hear a successful person talking about how they became successful, what do they always say? Have a think. Well, they always say, I couldn't have done it without a name, or two names, or three names. I couldn't have done it without James or Sophie or Mary. Sheryl Sandberg says, no one can succeed alone. I'm here today because so many people, teachers, mentors, friends, helped me, taught me, and believed in me along the way. And Warren Buffett said, Ben Graham was my mentor, and the lessons I learned from him at an early age set me on the path that made all the difference in my life. Without Ben, I'm not sure where I'd be today. And the same is true in my life. There's a few different people that I know that I would be nowhere near where I am now if it wasn't for them. The old way of networking was to get into a prestigious school, pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, spend 5 years grinding and studying, get a boring corporate job to pay off the debt, and then climb the ladder kissing as many asses as you can, and finally meet the right people, open doors, and get your chance. Either you were born in the right place, or you worked your ass off in the right places at the right time to build your network. It took time, money, pain, sweat, and tears to start meeting people and find lucrative opportunities. Now, in the intellectual frontier, opportunities to network are now abundant. The internet grants you access to anyone with a profile. And according to Statista, the number of internet users is 5.52 billion people, which is 5.52 billion opportunities. The old way was expensive degrees, climbing ladders, and face-to-face charm. The new way is a single, thoughtful DM, which means direct message, for those who don't know. Basically, chat. But building relationships and a network in public is hard. Imagine you move into a dorm room for college and you meet an awesome girl or boy that you want to make your girlfriend or boyfriend. You would never be able to build a relationship with her in the public setting of the group. So you spark the relationship in public, then you flame it privately through chats to build a relationship and ask her out. This is how I met my fiancée, Claire. Your network is sparked in public and flamed in private. Problem is, most people ruin their reputation early or they never get started. Every single creator online has received a crappy DM before, and it's lucky if it's only one. Normally it's dozens or hundreds. These DMs hurt the sender's reputation and make it harder to connect with people. If I sent Claire a crappy cold DM, she would never have given me the chance. Imagine this. Hey, I noticed you're single and I recently took so-and-so on a date and she gave me a 5-star review. Would you be opposed to getting on a quick call to see how I can help you get in a relationship in the next 3 months? That's just so weird. You don't say that to someone that you don't know. So the principles of building this network, which, to repeat myself, the network is the foundation on which all of your future success will be built on. The principles for doing this is to recognize that inboxes are flooded with pushy DM tactics, mass copy-paste DMs, and people trying to sell with no desire to help. But people can smell intentions, and these old tactics are overused and no longer work. The new opportunity means that in a surplus of garbage, the ones who input effort, creativity, and sincerity stand out like a diamond in the rough. So before, you would be impersonal. You'd use scripts in your DMs, in your chats, and even on calls. Before, you would send mass DMs. You would copy and paste the same message to hundreds of different people. Before, you put out this aura of desperation. Whereas now, you go the personal approach. You make effort with people. You put in creativity and sincerity with the people that you want to network with. So the principles to building this solid, strong network is don't be transactional, give without expectation, treat people like family, go above and beyond to help people, seek to connect, not to sell, provide more than you take, spend more time making sure your messages are quality than everyone else. Give to others what you wish to receive. Human first, friend second, educator third. Don't follow up endlessly, 1 or 2 tries max. Don't be a weirdo that keeps following up with someone that doesn't want to chat with you. And treat everyone as equal. Don't put people on a pedestal. The more time and effort you put into a DM, the greater the flame of connection it will produce. And all of these different people that I've connected with, and there's many more than this, almost all of them started through comments, which we've covered, and then in chats, in direct messages, online, on WhatsApp, on school, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. It all happened through chats. For example, Alex Hormozy. I reached out to him when he just had a few thousand subscribers, and I reached out and I offered to help him grow his YouTube channel for free. That was the spark that built the relationship. Mr. Beast commented on my videos, and then we chatted through email, and then we got onto calls, which we'll cover next, but it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the chatting through the emails. All of these different people that I've networked with over here, from Zach Pogrub, who has millions of followers on Instagram, to Anthony Vicino, who has a $100 million net worth, to Sam Ovens here, to Cole Hastings, who has hundreds of thousands of subscribers as a personal development YouTuber, to Rian Doris, who has an 8-figure business, Leon Hendricks, also a big personal development YouTuber, Chris Williamson, who has millions of subscribers, one of the biggest podcasts in the world, Film Booth, who's one of the leading experts on YouTube growth, Max Hertan, who is the biggest agency in Australia, and Charlie Hoopert from Charisma on Command. Almost all of these people I've networked with through chats. Chats on the internet is really where the magic happens. And Aiden DM'd Sahil Bloom, who has over 1 million followers on Twitter, using these principles, and ended up meeting him for coffee, where he learned insights that helped him supercharge his writing. So the method to find, start, and sustain valuable relationships is the chat framework. First, you choose who to DM and when to DM them. Second, you use a hook to ensure you get a response. Third is you add value. Give and you shall receive. And fourth, you transition. You guide the conversation towards an opportunity that could be beneficial for you or for them. Starting with step 1, you choose. Here, you use comments to find opportunities to DM. See, random DMs from random people get ignored. The more goodwill you deposit through comments before sending a message, the greater likelihood a high-quality connection is born. Your comments create sparks of recognition. This is why we start with comments. Every time you interact with someone in the comments, you create a spark that makes your DM have a much higher chance of turning into a flame. And a bonus can be using warm outreach. You probably have a bunch of people in your phone contacts and your Facebook friends and your Instagram followers and your Twitter followers, your LinkedIn connections, everyone you've ever emailed, people who liked your comments, people who you've commented on before or you've already engaged with. You probably already have a network without realizing it. And it's worth going through the people you've connected with and finding the people that you think could lead to lessons or opportunities in the future and rebuilding and regaining that relationship. Because in the next phase of this course, we'll be walking through how to turn this network that you've been building into opportunities for learnings and monetization. So realize that everything we're doing in this course builds on the rest of the course. Step 2 is the hook. This is where you spark a conversation. You see, a DM is only as powerful as its first line. That is what people see first in their inbox, which influences them to either open it or ignore it. So the 3 conversation hooks you can use is depth, go deeper on the conversation you had in public. Praise, shout out something specific you liked from them, and it has to be something specific, not general or vague. And context. Give a reason for your DM based on what you've observed from them publicly. So examples of depth could be, hey Kirby, we were talking about Harry Potter in the comments earlier, and I recently read this article on Slytherin, and it made me think of, etc. Praise. You probably get loads of DMs, but I wanted to personally reach out and say your post on Stoicism was incredible. I specifically loved when you said XYZ. Or context. Hey, I noticed you posted about yellow dragon fruit being the best fruit ever, and recently I tried one. Step number 3, add value. Give and you shall receive. The earlier in the conversation you can add value, the better. Ideally, you add value on the hook of your first message. But if you notice an opportunity to add value at any point during the conversation, seize it. This is what builds the goodwill. Types of value could be help. You can give advice or help on a problem they're facing. Free work, you can do something for them and then give it to them. Connections, introduce them to a person or a resource. Or stories, entertain and provide a connection. So the help example could be, I noticed you were working on thumbnail design. I recently tried XYZ and it helped me a lot. Let me know if it helps you too. Free work, I noticed you were working on thumbnail design, so I built you 3 thumbnails for free to help. Connections, I noticed you were working on thumbnails. I know this guy who does amazing thumbnails. Would you like me to connect you? Or, I noticed you were working on thumbnails. I found this free video that really helped me out. Here it is. Hope it helps you too. And by the way, connections are one of the best ways to add value. I remember the very first time that I was introed to someone else. I was speaking with Michael Simmons, who's a writer, viral writer on Medium. And after a conversation that I had with him in the chats, he introduced me to another friend of his called Eben Pagan, who's this old school multi-millionaire marketer. And ever since that moment, I've loved Michael Simmons because of the intro that he made to me. It didn't cost him any time, it didn't cost him any money, but yet he built up so much goodwill with me by introducing me to someone that I'd also get on with. And you can also do this by introducing people to content that you've consumed, that you've loved. That can be just as valuable as actually creating the content yourself. And finally, stories. You made me spend 3 days in the woods. I was at the gym last week and I was talking to my friend about your dopamine detox video thumbnails, and we decided to go all in and spend 3 days off grid. It was great. Thank you. Tell some sort of a story about something, but in your own life, relevant to them. Step number 4, transition. This is where you begin to guide the conversation into a place where it makes sense to connect and get on a call to continue the conversation. Guide it to where you think you have the ability to help. So what projects are you working on currently? What are your goals for the end of the year? Tell me more about that specific thing they mentioned. Sounds awesome. You want to be curious, you want to be helpful, and you want to be open. Make sure you let them talk. And some sparks are greater opportunities than others. When you see an opportunity to network with someone ahead of you, or someone clearly expressing a pain or a desire, seize those moments to connect and go above and beyond. This is how Aiden connected with me, which led to him becoming the host of Synthesizer. I was interested in growing on Twitter and I left this comment on School. I said, is there anywhere people do X audits? Like go through X and see what you think I'm doing wrong and where the lowest hanging fruits are. He replied with a DM that sparked an opportunity with a hook, providing context and a document and a loom of free work, which built goodwill and trust, eventually leading to a call and us working together. This was what he said. As you can see, he put in a lot of effort. He created an audit, which included a loom, and he went through and he added a lot of value for me in the opening message. We then chatted for a long time. Then we got on a call, and then he had this huge opportunity that was very lucrative and put him in a great position of power, helping him build his network, helping him get a great case study. But you'll see it all followed this framework. It started with comments, then it went to chats, then it went to calls, and now he has a high-ticket client and an opportunity for a huge case study. All follows this framework that we've outlined in this course, which is why I'm so surprised that nobody's talking about this. This great online game, almost everyone follows this same format, where you start with consuming high-quality information, then you comment, then you chat, then you get on calls, then you get case studies, then you get a high-ticket client, and then you start creating content to really supercharge your audience, which all leads to Synthesizer freedom, which is where you can do what you want, where you want. You can travel the world, work on what your heart desires. It all follows this framework. So start with comments, which we've covered already, and then start building relationships through chats. Which leads us to the rule of 200. We've already covered you should be spending 100 minutes per day commenting where you consume, which can be split up to 60 minutes consuming, 40 minutes commenting. The next phase is to spend up to 100 minutes per day building relationships in the DMs. If you start commenting and if you start chatting, everything that you want, from income to relationships to die-hard friends that are by your side, to lessons, to learnings, to becoming the sort of person that you want to be, it all starts with consuming, commenting, and chatting. So the action step is to scroll down beneath this video, implement the action steps, and promise you that it will all be worth it.